So I've actually made a lot of changes inside the Lean on Laurel program. So a lot of students were saying, Laurel, I love being on those Zoom calls, but gosh, Zoom calls are such a time suck. And so I redesigned Lean on Laurel for busy entrepreneurs who don't want to sit 4 hours waiting to get their questions answered. I designed it so that you can get answers right whenever you need them. There's no waiting in line. And so I'm going to walk you guys through what my Lean on Laurel program actually looks like, but I'm also going to show you some of the results that some of my students are getting and why the strategy that I help you guys execute inside the program will give you some of the best results that you're going to see inside the online marketing space. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen because this is so exciting because the more that I actually run this strategy, the more I see how powerful it is for so many different niches. And this doesn't matter whether you are, a chiropractor trying to get more people into your office, whether you are a copywriter trying to sell your copywriting services, or a gym, a fitness expert, or someone like me who is a solopreneur trying to sell an online service or an online program. And so right now you can see starting on the left hand of the screen, ad spend about 1,700 bucks and 97 booked calls. For those of you guys who don't know, average book call cost in the industry are anywhere between 400 and 700 bucks right now. And that's with traditional funnels. But if you look below that right here, you can see $400 in ad spend and over $8,500 in sales. Now, if you are a solopreneur, that is doing really, really well. Most people who have a full-time job don't even make that much money. You can see right here. Oops, I went there. There we go. $10,000 a month with only $754 in ad spend. You can see up here, booked 3 calls from ads at $11 a call. Remember, industry standard, $400 a call. So this strategy works really, really well. Down here, you'll see Devin. So let me tell you a little bit about Devin. So Devin and his team are spending 6 figures in ad spend every single month. So if you think that this is just for people who are, who have a low budget, it works even better with people who are coming into the program already having a direct response funnel. They get the fastest results. And you can see here, this was literally on the first coaching call. And that's why this is actually one of my latest and greatest success stories is while we were on the coaching call, he was like, hey, we just booked a call for 10 bucks. And this was like literally just a day after he joined. And then literally 5 minutes later, he was like, yep, my guy just turned that into a $5,000 sale. So $10 call turned into a $5,000 sale while we were on a coaching call, which is pretty cool. Here's some more results right here. You can see circled $359 in ad spend, total revenue 13,979. You can see here, this campaign right here, $522 total, 45 booked calls. Right here, you can see this is one of my students. His name is Carlos. He actually helps. He actually sells cabinet painting services, and he spent $600 and got $12,000 in projects. And so now he's not only booking up his calendar for cabinet projects, but he's actually now also teaching other cabinet painters and home repair guys how to actually do this. Scott Perry up here, one of my favorite success stories. $500 ad spend on average, $10,000 to $11,000 a month. He came to me, wanting to be a solopreneur to babysit his grandson. His son had just had a baby, and him and his wife wanted to be the babysitters. And so Scott was like, you know what? I've been working as a consultant for someone else for so long. I'm going to try to go out and do my own thing. And this is what my program was able to help him do. Now I've got an entire Google Drive of success stories that are just like this. But I know right now you're probably wondering, like, why the heck does this strategy work so well? And just kind of a quick glance over why math for traditional funnels doesn't work in most of your favors. Now, if you have a high budget, this is going to work out pretty good. And it's automated, right? But whenever you don't have a large ad spend, this does not work in most people's favors, right? If you look at this traditional funnel, right? And we'll just use like this webinar VSL flow as an example, right? You usually have a landing page, some type of play page, and an apply page, right? Well, if you're paying industry standard for, clicks, that's about we'll even go on the low side, $1 to $2, right? Even if, right, $1 to $2, right? Now, some niches, like if you're targeting a more narrow niche, you're probably going to pay upwards of $3 to $4 a click. So keep that in mind. So what we want to do is let's just do some quick math in our head, right? If we're paying, let's just say $2, we'll go on the low end, $2 a click, right? It's going to cost you, if you want 1,000 people here, it's going to cost you $2,000 to send 1,000 people to this landing page. Well, industry standard says only 20% of those people are going to opt in. So already in step one, we're losing 80%, meaning if we're sending 1,000 people here, only 200 people are going to give you their name and email and become a lead. Meanwhile, this black hole right here is going to have you with 800 less people that you've already paid for. And my strategy ensures that you never lose those people. And so now we have 200 people here. Well, only 40% of people are going to click play. So now already we've gone from 1,000 people to 200 people to now only about 50 people actually hitting play. Now, this doesn't count to the people who are going to actually watch the webinar. That's just hitting play. Only 10% of them are going to finish. And so now you can kind of see how the math just, if you have a low budget, a funnel in the traditional sense is probably not going to work for you. And so what my strategy inside Lean on Laurel actually does is we have 3 profit centers where we will literally plug each of these 3 black holes. And the reason that so many people get fast results whenever they come into Lean on Laurel is because we're focused on plugging the end hole first, right? Those are the people that are closest to the conversion hole. And so we have a little ad strategy there that I call the Hot 7 that is designed to get fast results. And so that result that we saw earlier with Devin right here, where he said, hey, he's got a $5,000 sale on a $10 booked call. It's because he was already sending hundreds of thousands of dollars through this funnel over the last several months. And so he had a quick win here. Now, most of you guys are going to have a quick win here, or you're going to have a quick win here. And I'll actually show you guys all of the little sequences that we actually plug the holes. Like I'm doing this as a training. Yes, I'm here to sell you a spot in Lean on Laurel, but for those of you guys who are not ready for Lean on Laurel, you're still going to get a lot of value because I'm actually going to show you guys what that looks like and all of those flows. And then I'm going to actually show you guys what being in Lean on Laurel actually is like. Okay. Are you guys cool with that? I hope so. So this is why traditional funnels just don't work. The numbers just don't math, right? Yesterday, I talked to a student who only had $500 a month to spend, and she wanted to do a webinar funnel. And I'm like, I don't think the math's going to work out in your favor. And so I set her up with one of the other strategies that I'm actually going to walk you through here. So why does my strategy work so well? So let's actually break down a couple of a little extra points. Okay. So one, it capitalizes on what ideal clients want from us right now, which is conversations before the sale. Like I know automate, but here's the thing. The market has changed. Market sophistication has changed. People have been scammed. People have, invested a lot of money in a lot of these high ticket programs, and they just don't feel comfortable buying in an automated process anymore, unless you have nurtured them. And we're going to talk a little bit about that over a period of time. And so my strategy is going to help you capitalize on what ideal clients want from us, which is conversations. Now, these are not going to be like long drawn out conversations. I'm actually going to help you shorten the way that you're having those conversations so that you're not spending a lot of time doing that. Second thing is cheap advertising, right? If you use cheap advertising and it produces crazy ROI, return on investment, or return on ad spend, you're going to win. And that's why I like a lot of the screenshots that you saw were people who were using a lower budget. And then, but you also saw it work with a super high budget too. So crazy high ROAS, the cheaper that we can make our advertising, right? The third thing is it actually allows you to get results fast, and it scales crazy too. So doesn't matter whether you are a beginner, you can get results. As a matter of fact, I have had some students who have come into the program and we have gotten them their first client within 24 hours using one of the funnels that I'm actually going to show you here in just a couple of minutes. And my favorite part about the strategy is that you can do this without buying any extra tech like funnel software or anything like that. You can literally do this manually, and it doesn't rely on pixel data. A lot of my agency clients during the iOS update, they were super happy with this strategy because it didn't rely on pixel data. They were able to do business as usual, while so many other businesses kind of had to close their doors because and try to figure things out because they were relying so much on pixel data. So I'm going to show you guys. So right now, I'm going to show you guys the little sequence that we use that's right here that literally is going to plug the hole. People who've already visited your application page and didn't move forward, we are going to set up something that I call the hot 7, which is basically excuse me, I can't talk this morning. They are ads that are strategically set up to push people back to the application. So these are your hottest leads right here because they've already visited your application page. Maybe they have applied, but they never booked a call. And so this is what the hot 7 is going to focus on. That is by far the quickest win when people come to me and they're doing a direct response funnel. In the first 7 days, we have the entire hot 7. I know there's only 3 ads here, but there's literally 7 of them. And within the first week, I literally have them up and running. And, you saw my man Devin over there. He and his team had the 7 ads because there's templates and everything. They had them up first day, booked that call, had a $5,000 sale. So this is the funnel that will plug the hole way at the end. The next one will plug the hole that happens after someone becomes a lead. And I'm going to tell you guys one of my favorite success stories. So I had a client who was running a webinar funnel. She was getting thousands of leads into her funnel every single month, but people just stopped watching the webinar. Now, she wanted to say, well, the ads stopped working, but it wasn't the ads, because here's the thing. People were still opting in. The ads job is to get people to opt in. What was happening was they were not watching the webinar. And so one of my ideas was, what if we delivered them the webinar content in a way that had less friction, right? Because a webinar usually 30, 40, sometimes even 90 minutes, right? And sometimes people just don't have that. Total transparency, she had a B2C offer that's in the health space, and I'll just leave it at that. And so what I did was I broke down her webinar into little freebie PDFs that each covered a small portion of her webinar. And so we had 3 to 4 different PDFs, and I had her shoot a couple of Reels videos that were highlighting the results that women were getting by using the protocols that were in these PDFs. We ran a $5 ad, and I only ran it to the people who became leads, right? Because if we look at this over here, this is plugging this hole right here. And she was getting thousands of leads every single month. And so there was all these leads that were falling through that black hole. And so I used a couple of these Reels videos, giving away these PDFs of these protocols that her clients actually wanted, because remember, they were still opting into the webinar. So they still wanted that information. They probably just didn't want it in a webinar form. We set up this simple little messenger DM funnel, which, by the way, again, doesn't use pixel data, nothing like that. You can literally, this is the strategy right here. When people come brand new to me, this is the thing that I say, look, we can probably get your next client in the next 24 hours if you do everything that I say and that you have an offer that people actually want. So this is probably by far my most popular strategy that's inside the program. It runs on $5 a day. Now, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite success story. That client, right? I took and put her webinar and broke it down into small PDFs of protocols. We actually recovered 200 triage calls in a single weekend with $6 in ad spend. One of my favorite stories right there. And I have that story over and over and over again, because this is literally the biggest black hole in a funnel. And a lot of you guys right now who are watching this, you could literally get your next client if you followed this strategy. And inside Lean on Laurel, I actually help you personalize the messenger conversation flow that'll take you literally from messenger into actually booking a call, because there is a certain way that you have to do that. And it's all about just knowing how to diagnose people in messenger. And that's what I literally help people in Lean on Laurel do. As a matter of fact, I have a Lean on Laurel student who was watching the video where I was explaining the messenger flow, and she was literally pausing the video and then going back to messenger and actually saying what I said in the video to say in messenger. And she actually closed someone on a booked call by simply just pausing and stopping the video as she was having the conversation. One of my newest favorite success stories. So the last one, let me actually explain this a little bit. If we go back here, right? Remember how I said, if we send 1,000 people to this page, you're going to lose 80% of them, right? Well, those are the people who are probably not ready to buy. But here's the thing. funnels are built for people who are ready to buy, right? And so that's who every marketer wants to target. Those are the most expensive ads to run. The conversions, right? Facebook, it optimizes conversion campaigns to go to the people who are likely to convert. And so the third strategy that I'm going to help you do is going to capture the people who are not ready to buy. But because of my ecosystem, it's going to create a conveyor belt right here. You can see in the picture. And at the top, you can see all of the pieces of content that are designed to take people from not ready to buy all the way to ready to buy. And these are all strategically created pieces of content, because the first thing that we have to do is we have to provide clarity. And so on the left-hand side, all of those video content pieces right here, these are going to ensure that people have clarity on what problems we can help them solve and how we can actually help them solve it. Now, providing clarity doesn't mean that people are actually going to buy, because there's one other thing that you have to get them to do, and that is have certainty that what you're pitching is actually going to work for them. They can see that it can work for other people, but a lot of them don't have the belief that it will actually work for them. Because remember, a lot of people have already bought programs that are very similar to yours. They've probably already tried some type of solution that you are selling. And so we have to strategically make content that not only gives people clarity, but is going to give them certainty as they run along this conveyor belt. Okay. Now, this is a strategy that works over time. This is not something that is going to be as quick as this strategy or this strategy. This is the thing that we're going to set up last. This is going to build that invisible list that's going to create a conveyor belt effect. That way, by the time that this conveyor belt gets all the way to the other side of the field, you're going to have people ready to buy at any given time. That is me right now. Anytime that I post something like my ads blitz, my Phoenix event, it sells out quickly because I've got not just one conveyor belt of people, but I've got many conveyor belts of people, because I've been running this strategy for years now. And so that's what we're actually going to create for you. Now, here's what being in Lean on Laurel actually looks like. I'm going to walk you guys through. What does the first 7 days look like? What does the first 2 months look like? And all of that fun stuff. And so within the first 7 days, on day one, you're going to get access. You're going to get Voxer access. You're going to give me access to your ad account. A lot of people don't realize that I actually am going to have access to your ad account, so we can actually tag team on optimizing, building the ad strategy and whatnot. You're also going to get Voxer access to me immediately so that we can actually begin to go to work. Because here's the thing. In the first 7 days, I want you to have the entire ads ecosystem up and running. Yes, we literally do not waste time. I literally fire hose you to the face. Then we go into the one-on-one strategy call, where we're going to look forward and we're going to find that most immediate constraint, and we're going to be able to identify anything that's future constraints. But during the first 7 days, we're literally going to build out your ads ecosystem. I'm going to give you a day-by-day roadmap for those of you guys who like doing one thing every single day. There's fill-in-the-blank templates. You write, and then I'm going to help you revise things over Voxer. Remember, there's no waiting in line on coaching calls. We are literally on Voxer actually getting this work done. You're going to shoot and launch them, and then we're going to immediately plug immediate black holes for quick wins. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's all about getting some momentum. And a lot of you guys right now are sitting on a lot of warm traffic that if you plugged in one of these 3 strategies that we just went over, you would see that quick win. So that's what the first 7 days look like. The first 7 days ends with a one-on-one strategy call with me, where we're going to meet over Zoom. We're going to look at the data of your current ecosystem. And then again, we're going to identify current and then future constraints. Okay. So that's the first 7 days of the program. Now, days 8 through 60, this is designed to give you the ultimate foundation so that we can build that conveyor belt full of people, while also getting quick results with a direct offer funnel as well. We have a first thing we're going to do is we're going to optimize. We're going to tweak the ads. We're going to create more indirect offers as needed. We're going to basically optimize. There's ways to get my eyes on your ads. There's ways to get eyes on the copy. We've got ad manager audits. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to help you master messaging closing. I'm going to help you brainstorm new ad angles. And then, of course, I'm going to do ad manager audits for you along the way to make sure that we are optimizing all of the right places and so that you're not missing anything. So it's literally like me. It's kind of like a hybrid agency and consulting offer where you and I are just basically tag teaming everything. And then we're also going to implement my weekly content strategy. So we're going to install my multi-platform content flow that's going to accelerate the clarity, certainty, and trust that you need in order to just close clients, right? Like I don't take calls for people to come into Lean on Laurel. People just come into Lean on Laurel because they've been watching content just like this video so that they have absolute clarity, certainty, and trust in me because they've been watching so much of my content. They know exactly what to expect from me. I'm pretty transparent. Again, this is going to serve up a conveyor belt of ready to buy clients after you run it over time. And it's going to skyrocket your reach, engagement, and it is going to turbocharge those booked appointments. Trust me on that. The next thing we're going to do is we are actually going to do an offer validation test. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rework your offer to ensure that it is going to convert to cold traffic. Because a lot of you guys already have an offer that's converting, but it's been converting to organic traffic or to warm traffic. Once you go over to cold, it is a completely different story. I get this all the time with speakers who come into the program and they're like, Laurel, I've sold millions from the stage. I'm like, yeah, but paid ads are going to be a completely different animal. When you're speaking on stage, you have that borrowed authority. When you sell organically, you have an audience of people who already love you. And so when you put that same offer in front of cold traffic, a lot of times it doesn't convert the way that it will with your organic traffic or with your speaker traffic. And then it's basically just a simple ad test that's going to validate your offer. It's nothing complicated. Again, we're not building a funnel. We're literally going to build these strategically written ads that are going to go straight from ad to application. And so that's what that offer validation test is. We run them for about 100 to 150 bucks. And so that's all what we're going to do in days 8 through 60. It's all about optimizing and then adding in that weekly content strategy and then going into that offer validation test for those of you guys who don't have a validated offer, right? Because this program isn't just for people who already have funnels running. We also actually implement everything. So if you don't even have an offer yet, this program is designed to literally bring someone from zero to getting their first client. Remember, I was telling you guys about Scott Perry, who wanted to babysit his grandson. That's where he was. He was starting from scratch. He had the expertise by working for someone else, but we were able to build him an offer and get him ready to rock and roll. So that's days 8 through 60. Days 60 through 90, we are going to automate and we are going to scale. And so what I'm hoping everyone is by day 60. Again, we're going to do, marketing audits. We're going to do them via the ad audit form. We've got copy audits. We've got Voxer. So you have that daily Voxer access to me. Now, this is where things are going to get fun. Now, here's the thing. There are some of my students that never want to actually automate the process because they have setters that they put in Messenger. And so some of my students, instead of building a funnel, what they do is instead of spending the money on, raising ad costs, they put that money towards hiring a setter, or they just do it themselves. Like me, I close all of my people in Messenger myself. If you are a solopreneur, I will literally show you how I do it. I have over 100 Messenger conversations every single week. I'm going to show you guys everything. Once you come into the program, you will learn how I do everything. And like I said, whether you're a solopreneur or if you're someone who does want to scale and automate the whole process, I literally have all of the things in there. Vince Reed came in and did a VSL training on how to actually write a VSL. That's the VSL framework that I use. Vince is a regular guest, as is my mentor, Nick Peterson, inside the program. And so days 60 through 90, we're really going to put the pedal to the metal. We'll show you how to actually automate the DM funnel through mini chat or go high level. There's step-by-step trainings. You're going to get help via Zoom or Loom. I use a lot of Loom videos when people ask me, well, how do I do something? Or, hey, can you change something in my ads manager? I'll go in and I'll either do it live over Zoom with that client, or I'll just send them a Loom video and say, hey, here's what I changed and here's why I changed it and here's how I do it. And then of course there's group implementation calls. Every single month we meet. So it's not like there aren't any Zoom calls. We still have Zoom calls because sometimes you just want to, feel that need for community and stuff, but they're as needed. They're not anything they're not mandatory. People have Voxer for that. And so a lot of people like just the Voxer access and not having to rely on, coming to super long coaching calls. And then we're going to figure out the best way to scale, because for some of you guys, the best way to scale is literally just keep on doing what you're doing and then just kind of tweaking your ad spend a little bit, but it's different for everyone. The most important thing is we want to quickly scale without messing up any of your return on ad spend. What we want to actually see is the higher the ad spend, the higher the ROAS. A lot of times that's actually backwards, right? But my strategy ensures that you could actually keep improving your return on ad spend and actually keep lowering your ad costs. I've had students gone from $5,000, $6,000 a month in spend to under like $300, $400 a month with this strategy. Again, but you have to give it long enough time for that conveyor belt effect to actually happen. And so that is literally Lean on Laurel, how it works, the strategies, how they work, the results, and all of that fun stuff. Hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of value out of this video. If you go to adswithlaurel.com, you're going to see an application. Make sure you fill it out. A lot of times when people have questions, just by going through the application actually answers those questions. And so all I ask is that before you ask me any questions about Lean on Laurel, you watch the video on that page and you actually go through the application process. Because like I said, a lot of students actually get their questions answered by simply just going through the application. But I would love to have you inside my program. The wait list is not that long. We can typically get people in within 7 to 14 days. My goal is to not keep people in Lean on Laurel. My goal is to teach people the system and then train them to make sure that they can execute it on their own or with a team. For those of you guys who do have a team, we do allow team members inside the program. And so if you're the face of the company and then you have a media buyer, the media buyer could work with me on the ads, and then you and I could actually work on content. That's a commonly asked question. Can I bring a team member into the program? Abso-freaking-lutely. But anyway, if you're interested in joining Lean on Laurel, go to adswithlaurel.com, or if you're on the application page right now, just click the link below, fill out the application, and I will be personally reaching out to you in Messenger.